I hope you're all right! Who's ready for a tight 5 to do 8 minutes worth of stand-up comedy? Thank you all for social distancing, by the way. Out of curiosity, who has the first dose in here? Give me a cheer! Woo! Who's had the second dose? Give me a louder cheer! Woo! Or as I like to call it, backsack and vaxxed. I'm not going to take up any more of your time with COVID, and unlike the British government, that is not a lie. For those of you who are eagle-eyed, will notice that this is the student comedy competition, and I'm no longer a student. I graduated this year. That was my reaction as well. Thanks to that one person out there, I guess. No, I saw my name fly past on a PowerPoint like terms and conditions for constipation medication. That's the best 3 years of your life and £27,000, thank you. The first time I was actually in this competition, I was fresh-faced, 18-year-old, only 2 gigs in. Now I'm 21, jaded and fat-balding men on the internet like to remind me I expire as a woman next year. I actually did psychology at university, so I spend half of my time arguing with people less intelligent than me that I can't read the mind, and the other half of my time arguing with people more intelligent than me that my degree is actually worth a toss. It's actually marginally more important than the rest of my uni housemates who did history. Them and their 1 lecture a year. Bless their little hearts. I actually went to labs and they were walking around like, damn, I got yesterday due tomorrow. There were clearly some history students in the front row there. I'm so sorry, darling. I did psychology. I actually enjoy the history of science, though. That is quite interesting to me because the history of science actually starts with the Royal Society, who was a bunch of rich, old, white guys with nothing better to do. And now science is so much more accessible and diverse, and it's fantastic. And those rich, old, white guys with nothing better to do run the country instead. I'm no history student, but I'm starting to see a pattern here. Not to be an anti-vaxxer, but science fucking sucks. But back at the start of science, actually, the first surgery anatomy books, instead of being based off humans, was actually based off dog carcasses. The inside, not the outside. The inside, not the outside. You'd like to think somebody would say something if it was the outside. Either that or our brightest and best are still sat in lectures going, and above the coccyx, you'll find the human tail. And everyone's just sat there like, I'm the freak without a tail. Nobody said anything. Either that or when women started to practice medicine as well, they'd have to read in the textbooks, and diagram 7, you'll see the female torso and abdomen, which is obviously completely covered by their 6 breasts. All the men in the audience are like, yeah, where do I find this book? Well, I'm actually an adult now, joking about boobs on a Monday. I'm an adult now. I'm an adult now, I have a job. For the comedians, the audience, a job is what you have when you turn up 9 to 5 and they pay you for being there. It's great. It's like doing a bit for the entire fiscal year. I've actually learned that office culture is incredibly similar to comedy clubs in the fact that I'm often the only one who didn't go to private school there. I can joke about that because I have rich friends. I love my rich friends. But when the revolution comes, I will show them little to no mercy. I don't hate rich people, but I did see a Porsche get T-boned by a rubbish van the other day and I couldn't stop smiling for 3 hours. It's a good job we have to wear masks on the tube, so I stood there like this. I have to admit, a lot of my rich friends do struggle with my accent a little bit. In case you don't know, I'm from the arse end of the world, otherwise known as Hull. And it's not nice to laugh at people less fortunate than you are. We're actually very innovative people in Hull. We invented the Venn diagram at Hull University. We invented liquid display technology and teen pregnancy. No, you're welcome, MTV. To be fair, I do like to wind up my rich friends a little bit. I actually convinced them the other day I didn't know what a garage was. And before I knew it, 5 minutes later, they were showing me the house renovations on their gold-encrusted iPhone 11s, going, "That's where the car goes." I like to say, "We don't have cars up north." I walk to and from the one shopping village till the soles of my shoes wear through. I go back to my house, which is one room I share with my 13 siblings. We don't have no running water in all. If I like to go to the toilet, I just open the door and I shit outside. Yeah, they do struggle with my accent a little bit, so I'm toning it down, but I asked one of them the other day if he'd had lunch yet or anything, and he didn't understand what I was saying at all, so I had to say very clearly to him, "Have you eaten?" And he said, "Eaten? No, Winchester College, actually." Yeah, rich people, they all seem to know each other as well. Is that just me? I've overheard a lot of conversations that sound a lot like, "Have you seen Tarquin Boppin Bobbin Bobbin Toppin the other day?" And somebody else will go, "No, I haven't seen him since Ascot last year when we were with Alfred, Lance and Charles." Later learned that Alfred, Lance and Charles, instead of being 3 people, is actually just one person named all of those things. In the time it takes to say one of my rich friends' names, another section of the NHS has been privatised. Someone, don't clap for that. We're all going to die. One of them asked me the other day if I still remember my school song. It's probably something by N-Dubs, if I'm being honest. Now, I'm not that rough, but my school alumni is a real who's who of Jeremy Kyle contestants. And actually, being a working class comedian is quite good, because I don't even have to think about a Netflix special. I've already got my appearance lined up on Benefit Street. Surprisingly doesn't pay very well. I moved down to London about 2 months ago now, and I like to think that I have settled into it, and by that I mean I'm a pedestrian with a death wish. I am just walking into oncoming traffic. I will make direct eye contact with the driver and go, "Fucking run me over in your low emissions vehicle, I dare you." Yeah, it was a bit of a culture shock for me coming down. First day I got here, I went to the bar, went to go and order a pint, and the barman said, 5:30, and I was like, "Nah, don't worry, love, I only want one." What? Yeah, and now I rejoice, actually, if a round comes to less than 40 quid. I'm actually so London now, I'm already being evicted. That is actually happening, to be fair. It's not my fault, can I just add, but yes, I'm flat searching again now, and if any of you in the audience are from London, or maybe you're planning to move down to London, fair word of caution, if you stood anywhere for slightly too long, you will receive an invoice for £900 a month, not including bills. Yeah, flat sharing is bizarre as well, because currently it's me, a master's student, and a doctor, 3 people who are apparently on the same budget. And now, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love our NHS, I respect them, but if his ability to diagnose and cure diseases and anything like his aim for the toilet, this is a PSA to all of his patients to please seek a second opinion. No, I've been trawling through Rightmove, trying to find something else, and the only conclusion that I have come to is that we need to make the use of the word spacious illegal. Because a London agency's definition of the word spacious is a lot like a primary school PE teacher's, because you've got to just find your own. Got to find your own space there. If you see the word cosy in a description for a flat and you're over 5'5", just don't even bother. Don't even bother going. I went to go and view somewhere recently that had the word homely in the title. And before I went in, the agent stopped me outside the door and he said, "Now, for £1,200 a month, this is a steal." And he wasn't lying. Well, for £1,200 a month, this is a steal. But unfortunately, there's no Wi-Fi, obviously. We can't get the heating to come back on, and there's not been running water. So if you want to go to the toilet, you're just going to have to open the door and shit outside. And he must have done his market research, because that certainly feels like home to me. Thank you very much. Have a good night.